Dear friend, we live in a world that moves fast, where meals are often reduced to a few rushed bites, or worse, tangled up with stress, guilt, or distraction. Eating is no longer a joy, a ritual of connection, or an act of self-care. It becomes a task, a string of mechanical habits where we no longer even notice what we're putting into our bodies. And yet, in my years as a doctor, I've witnessed something quietly miraculous. When an older adult, someone used to pills, tests, and diagnoses, begins to return to simple meals, meals they prepare with their own hands and eat slowly, in stillness, their body begins to change. But the change isn't just in blood pressure or glucose or cholesterol. It's in the peace in their eyes, the softening of their smile, the gentleness in their voice. Because they're not just eating, they're healing. When you choose foods that are gentle, wholesome, and natural, you're not just feeding your body. You're nourishing something deep inside you, something that may have longed for quiet care. It's as if every spoonful whispers, "You are worth caring for." And that is the moment when eating is no longer just survival, it becomes something sacred, an act of healing.
Part 1. The Body, where healing begins. Every meal, no matter how simple, sends a quiet message to the body. I'm listening to you. When you choose an avocado over a pastry, a glass of warm water instead of soda, a bowl of oatmeal instead of instant noodles, you're not just giving your body nutrients, you're offering a message of care to every single cell. The human body is a remarkably sensitive system. Everything we take in, protein, fat, water, leafy greens, affects the rhythm of the heart, the clarity of the skin, the balance of the nervous system, memory, and even how deeply we sleep. When you feed your body nourishing food, silent inflammation begins to fade, energy returns, and your organs can breathe a little easier. Many people believe that to be healthy, you need extreme diets or expensive supplements. But the truth is, health doesn't come from a pill. It lives in your daily, gentle eating habits. And then, after some time, you begin to notice your skin glows, your breath feels lighter, your digestion calms, and most of all, the fog in your mind begins to lift. That's not a miracle. That's the result of treating your body like a trusted friend, not a machine to endure whatever you throw at it.
Part 2. The Mind, where clarity can be reborn. Have you ever woken up in the morning with your head in a fog, forgetting what you were about to say, or walking into a room only to wonder why you went there? After 60, moments like these become more familiar. But here's what saddens me. Too many people simply accept it as a natural part of aging and give up. I don't believe in giving up, and I hope you won't either. The mind is like a garden. If you leave it untended, it will dry up. But if you water it with care, with the right kind of nourishment, it can bloom again, no matter how many seasons you've lived through. So, what does it take to nourish the brain? The answer is simpler than you might think. It's foods you already know: eggs, salmon, walnuts, chia seeds, oats, avocados, dark leafy greens. These are full of healthy fats like omega-3s, choline, B vitamins, and antioxidants, what I call living nutrients for your brain. When your brain cells are fueled with these kinds of foods, they stay elastic, transmit signals better, and are protected from silent inflammation, a key culprit behind memory decline and mood disorders in older adults. I once had a patient, Louise, 68 years old, who came to me worried about forgetting names and words, confusing familiar faces.
She was terrified it might be early dementia. But instead of jumping to medication, we simply changed her breakfast. Oatmeal with nut milk, fresh blueberries, and walnuts, and she completely cut out refined sugar. 6 weeks later, she came back and said, "Doctor, I feel like my mind has cleared. Mornings are no longer foggy. I even remembered old stories I hadn't thought of in years." You see, healing the brain doesn't always require expensive supplements or fancy treatments. It starts with one simple decision. What do you choose to eat each day? And even more important, are you eating with gratitude, with mindfulness, with care for your mind that has served you all your life? When you start choosing foods not just because they taste good, but because they honor your brain, then every breakfast, every spoonful of oatmeal, every slice of avocado becomes a quiet medicine for mental clarity. And you'll begin to realize, even as the years pass, the light in your mind has never truly gone out. Part 3. Emotions, where peace truly begins. Dear friend, most people don't realize this, but the way we eat often reflects the way we're living. If you eat in a rush, maybe your mind is anxious. If you eat in silence and loneliness, maybe your heart is quietly asking to be heard. If you eat without really tasting the food, maybe you've lost connection with the most important person in your life, yourself. I've had many older patients tell me, "I just don't enjoy food like I used to." But the more we talked, I realized what they were missing wasn't taste. It was emotional connection during meals. Some used to eat just to fill the emptiness. Some ate in silence, alone. Others sat in front of the TV, finishing their plate without ever noticing what they were eating. That's why I often suggest something very simple. Start small. Cook yourself a bowl of warm soup. Pour a gentle cup of tea in the morning. Spread mashed avocado on a slice of whole grain bread. Then sit quietly. No phone, no distractions. Just you and the food you chose for yourself. And something magical happens when you slow down. Feelings begin to rise. Maybe it's memory. Maybe it's gratitude. Maybe it's a sadness that's been waiting quietly in the corners of your heart. But that, my friend, is exactly where healing begins. Because when you eat with presence, when you allow yourself to feel, to be here, to listen, not to others, but to yourself, you begin to heal gently and deeply. I'll never forget a conversation I had with Mr. George, 72 years old. He had lived alone for many years after losing his wife. He told me he often ate out of habit, quickly, without emotion. Until one morning he decided to cook his own breakfast. Just a boiled egg and some mashed avocado. He sat on his balcony and ate slowly, in the quiet of the early sun. And he said to me, "Doctor, I don't know why, but I cried. Not because I was sad, but because in that moment, I realized I was still alive, still able to care for myself. And for the first time in a long while, I felt at peace." Caring for your emotional health doesn't require expensive therapy. Sometimes, all it takes is a real meal. A meal with presence, with gratitude, with just a little love. Because eating isn't just about fuel. It's a quiet ritual, a secret act that helps you gently heal the inner wounds, one bite at a time.
Part 4. A sense of worth, whispering, "I deserve this." Dear friend, eating well isn't just about nutrition. It's not just about counting calories, fats, or blood sugar. At a deeper level, every time you choose a healthy meal,
You're saying something quietly but powerfully to yourself. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be cared for. That may sound simple, but for many older adults, especially those who've been through illness, loss, or long seasons of loneliness, feeling worthy isn't always easy. I've had patients tell me things like, now that I'm older, it doesn't matter what I eat, or I just want to take care of my kids and grandkids. It's not about me anymore. And that's when I gently ask them, but if today's meal was just for you, wouldn't you want it to be kind, nourishing, and made with care? Often they pause, then slowly they nod. And that moment, that silent nod, is where the healing begins. It can start with something as simple as choosing a fresh apple, boiling an egg with your own hands, pouring a warm cup of tea, then sitting down at the table, just to eat. Not multitasking, not rushing. Just being present with your meal and with yourself. Every one of those small acts is a gentle reminder. You are still here, and you are worthy. I remember a woman named Ellen, 75 years old, living alone in Vermont. She told me she often ate frozen dinners because they were easier, and she didn't want to trouble her children by cooking. But after attending one of my wellness workshops, she made a change. She started cooking breakfast for herself. Sometimes just oatmeal, sometimes an egg with steamed greens. And a few weeks later, she sent me a short message that read, I feel like I'm coming back to myself, not just as a mother or grandmother, but as me, a woman who's still alive, still caring for her own well-being. In that moment, eating healthy was no longer just about nutrients. It became a path back to her sense of self. And that's the heart of it. When you choose a meal because you respect yourself, you're quietly rebuilding the foundation of what it means to be alive: self-worth, presence, and joy. And when it becomes a daily habit, each meal becomes more than nourishment. It becomes a silent declaration: I'm still here, and I'm still living with meaning. Dear friend, when you start eating in a healthy, mindful way, you're not just feeding your body, you're rewriting the way you care for yourself. Every boiled egg, every bowl of warm oatmeal, every cup of gentle morning tea is like a quiet message you send to your inner self. I care about you. And sometimes that small shift, that one gentle change, can stir a wave of healing that reaches far deeper than we expect. We can't stop aging, but we can choose how we live through it. You don't need to be perfect. Just be present at the table. You don't have to give up every less healthy food overnight. Just begin with one kind, loving choice each morning. Because being truly healthy isn't just about not being sick. It's waking up and feeling light, clear, and having a reason to smile. If this message brought you a little motivation, or maybe just a soft reminder to care for yourself from within, I invite you to leave a comment below. Tell me, where are you beginning from? Is there a meal that makes you feel comforted, peaceful, or brings back warm memories? I read every single message, and I truly believe your story might become a quiet gift of healing for someone else too. And if you'd like to continue this journey with me, this path of healthy food, healthy living, done with love and compassion, please subscribe to the Strong Body Flow channel. Together, we'll keep moving forward, gently, with clarity and purpose, to live healthy, live fully, and live in a way that reflects what you truly deserve. I'll see you in the next video.